Hello VGM Together, I'm Brandon, co-founder of VVGO, Virtual Video Game Orchestra. We're so excited to kick off Saturday's festivities with some awesome VGM. For those of you who haven't heard of us before, we were founded 1 year ago today with the purpose of providing a virtual musical outlet to musicians everywhere who couldn't play IRL because of lockdown. Today's set features 3 of our previously released projects, introduced by members of our production teams as they explain what goes into making what we make. Then at the end, we are proud to present the world premiere of our 8th project, For Redemption Decisive Battle 2 from Octopath Traveler. First, I'm going to throw it over to Thomas to explain who we are, how our sheet music is made, and introduce the first piece in our set. Thomas, take it away.
Hey everybody, I'm Thomas Hoganson. I'm an arranger, an orchestrator, and an engraver for the Virtual Video Game Orchestra. I'm going to talk a little bit about what we do and how we operate. So VVGO is an orchestrally based group, but we accept all kinds of instruments and submissions from all around the world, from beginners on their instruments to, industry professionals. What we regularly do is we take community-written arrangements and expand them to fit a really large orchestra, including saxophones, alternate instruments for the winds, so English horn, contrabassoon, you name it, and a kitchen sink of percussion. But we've also written for many groups in the past, including choir, jazz band, ocarina ensemble, recorded choir, flute choir, and rock orchestra, just to name a few. We also really push for the inclusion of instruments that our members have. If you have a weird instrument or just any instrument and you want to play with us, we'll write a part for it. We've had things like bass flute, contrabass ocarina, contrabass clarinet, a homemade contrabassoon that's 3D printed, alto trumpet, flexitone, caval, organ, and lever harp. My main job for VVGO is engraving. To me, engraving is really graphic design, but from a musician's perspective. There's all the techie stuff, of course, like line width, spacing, font choice, slur arcs, whatever. But I also employ a lot of graphic design principles in the parts, like balance, white space, contrast, variety, etc. Now, this is all in service to the musicians at the other end, who honestly will play the music better if they get a nicely engraved part. If it looks nice, they're not going to think twice. So we're going to start the set off tonight with a real banger. This is the first project I worked on arranging and engraving for VVGO, and it is our largest release and our largest collaboration to date. So without further ado, featuring over 183 submissions, this is The End Begins to Rock from God of War 2 and Guitar Hero 3, featuring the composer himself, Gerard K. Marino. Enjoy!
Hi, I'm John Waller from the VVGO audio team, and I'm here today to give you a view behind the scenes of what the audio team does. We start by dividing upcoming projects between each of the team members to figure out who will be in charge of each project. From there, each audio project leader will receive a MIDI file, which is like a music score, but for software like a score editor or digital audio workstation to read. From there, we import that file into our audio workstation of choice. We'd assign virtual instruments to each part and record callouts at rehearsal markers, which are short, spoken reminders of where a performer is in a piece that goes something like prep 2, 3, 4, letter A. After this, the project is announced publicly, and the click track gets published to the VVGO website for musicians to record with. After submissions are in, the assigned team member downloads all the submitted files, aligns, denoises, and corrects any technical issues to prepare the files for an initial edit. At this point, each audio team member handles their jobs a little differently. I personally create sub-projects for each of the sections and begin editing them one by one, which depending on the scale of the project could take anywhere from about 30 to 80 hours. Now that all this editing is out of the way, I begin to mix each of the instruments together. When mixing, I start by making sure the instrument balance is good so that you can hear the melody, but you also don't want it to be overwhelming at the same time. As I do that, I start to add EQ, dynamic compression, reverb, and other processing to help further blend all of the sections together into one cohesive sound. Finally, I send a draft to the audio team asking for feedback on my mix, and if no adjustments are needed, I send the audio over to the video team to sync with the final video. Well, I think you've heard enough out of me, so without further ado, I present one of my mixes, VVGO's fifth project, Ballad of the Windfish.
is Kat, and I'm the artist for VVGO. I'm a variety artist who does artwork for things like stickers and magnets, and I primarily do artwork for specific pieces that we perform. The first step is to usually consult with the arrangers on their vision for the piece, and then I make a sketch based off of those notes. After some back and forth, we make the changes as requested, and then I move on to the line art. This is usually the most time-consuming part since I'm taking great attention to the detail at this phase of the project. After this, we move to a basic flat color, which sets the groundwork for the final look of the piece. The common technique I use to finish the project is a process known as shading on a triadic color scheme, which basically means taking 3 equally spaced colors and using it to create contrast. One of the final steps is coloring the line art with a color that contrasts the darkest shadows of the shading. Finally, it's a final proof from the music prep team and the arranger. And once that's greenlit, it makes its way to the engravers to be placed into the parts. From time to time, be on the lookout for hidden secrets among the art.
Hello, my name is John McKay, and my primary task with VVGO is the reference conductor. So the first thing that I do after we get the piece is I will get a click track and a score. Then I'm going to go through it, find things that I want to bring out, like, oh, this horn line really needs to sing out, or not so much trumpet, that kind of thing. I'll use it as a soundtrack, I'll use a live performance, sometimes I'll even just make decisions on my own. Once that's all marked up, that's off to recording, and that's where I perform. So I have all my scores on my iPad, I'll set it up, and I'll usually take 3 perspectives, center, right, and left, and that kind of simulates, if you're sitting as a trumpet player or a horn player or a string player in the orchestra. Once the raw video is done, it goes to the video team to add helpful things like bar beat counter or streamers that come across the screen and give hit points and tempo changes. They're really helpful, and it's a very good resource. And without further ado, here is a track that I arranged, Project 7, the credits roll from Super Mario 3D World. Enjoy.
My name is Jordi de Lat. I'm the lead of the video team. I'm gonna take you guys backstage of what we do with our video editing. So you guys send us a lot of videos and we're really happy that you guys do. It's always a big undertaking, but the end results look always amazing. So basically, we start off with planning what we're gonna do and of course synchronizing all the videos. You guys sent over 100 videos last time, and yeah, those all have to be synchronized by hand. We synchronize every video in its own sequence. This way we can make sure the frame rates are the same, positioning, the scaling, everything is the same when we start to edit with it. So to place all the videos, we have our own design system. We have this huge list of sequences where we created kind of templates where you can just drag and drop the videos to place them. So we send different sections to different editors and everybody works on it. And at the end, all the exports come to me. From there, I start adding in the graphics. With Ballad of the Windfish, I tried to sort of tell the story of what's happening. So you go through all these dungeons. The wipes, for example, were items that you got at the end of the dungeon. And I think some of you actually recognized that was happening. For Project 7, we created a whole world in the theme of Super Mario. This wasn't downloaded, we actually built the whole set. And this is rendered in After Effects as well. So for Project 8, we created a small environment based on one of the battle scenes from Octopath Traveler. So without further ado, here is Project 8 for Redemption, Decisive Battle 2 from Octopath Traveler.
And that's our set. We hope you enjoyed it. Many thanks to the team behind VGM Together for inviting us to share our music. Many thanks to these fine folks behind VVGO who've brought my idea to life. Thanks to you for watching and for sticking with us. And finally, thanks to all the performers without whom none of this would have been possible. If you like what we make, consider supporting us on Bandcamp. Each of these music videos takes hundreds and hundreds of hours to make, and we are so grateful to those who have supported us already. If you play an instrument of any kind, or if you sing, come play with us. We just kicked off our second season with 4 brand new arrangements from video games like Golden Sun and Abzu. Stick around for Skill Check here in just a few minutes, and check out Yoga for Gamers on VGM Together too, starting shortly thereafter.